What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here. This show is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. But in this one, we go over what Warde Manuel had to say about Sherrone Moore's contract and all the assistants for that matter. Plus, running backs coach Tony Alford goes over two running backs we could see against Texas out of Jordan Marshall and Benjamin Hall, and also gives his thoughts on Donovan Edwards and Khalil Mullings. Plus, Brian Jean Mary talks about the Texas defense, linebackers Jaishawn Barham and Jimmy Rolder being a third starter. Plus, some Michigan players also talk about the Texas game upcoming, including offensive lineman Josh Preeb, as he says the mistakes are easily fixable. And I also go over a couple of big recruits visiting this weekend for the Texas game. It is going to be a big recruiting weekend for Michigan. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it here. So the first thing I did want to talk about is what Michigan Athletic Director Warde Manuel discussed on an interview with John Jansen on Conquering Heroes. The first was about alcohol sales in the Big House for the first time as Michigan began selling alcohol at the Big House this season, and they said they were great sales with minimal impact on fan behavior, so that's nice to hear. And then also Warde Manuel talked about Michigan playing in late night West Coast games, and he said that it was a priority for Michigan to prevent late night kickoffs for Big Ten games on the West Coast. He said there's no concerns there in football. Not sure the same will apply in basketball though. He also talked about Friday night games, and he said absolutely not to Friday night. We are not having a Friday night game. I'll just leave it at that. Thank goodness to that, because I really do not want to watch a Michigan football game on Friday night. I just love the traditional Saturday. And then he also talked about Sherrone Moore's contract, as it is still in the works. He said, those contracts are being worked on as we speak. As right now, Sherrone Moore and several of his assistants are working under a memorandum agreement rather than full contracts. But he said we had a transition not only in football, we had a transition in basketball. He said these things take time. The contracts, they don't just happen overnight, and there are things that have popped up, but they're being worked on. Sherrone knows our commitment to him, and we know his commitment to us. In the same thing with the assistant coaches. He said it hasn't been something that has been an issue for me or for them, but we're working through it and we'll hopefully have them wrapped up very soon. Also talked about the upcoming Texas game. He said I want it to be loud. I want our fans to be loud, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an unbelievable game. So if you're going to the Michigan-Texas game, make sure to wear maize. It is a maize out, and make sure to be loud. I'm sure it's going to be an outstanding environment. Now before we do continue this video, I did want to give a shout out to BetUS, the sponsor of this video and this channel throughout the football season. Guys, they have all the odds you need this football season, both NFL, college football. So head on over to betus.com, and also they're offering a great offer right now. You can use promo code YouTube150. That's right, YouTube 150 or 150 for a nice 150% deposit bonus up to $2,000. So make sure to use YouTube 150 as the promo code. And hey, make a bet. Currently looking at the Michigan-Texas odds on the BetUS website right now. Money line is plus 250. I think this is going to be a close game compared to what people think. I do think Texas may have a better chance to win this game, but with this Michigan defense, I think they can pull through and win this game, and you might as well put $50 on it, win 125. Also, the over-under is 42.5. I did expect a low-scoring game in this one, but I could definitely see a score of like 24-21 or 28-24. So I'm actually going to go the over here, put 55, win $50. You can make those bets and many more this weekend on any game. Make sure to go ahead, check out BetUS at betus.com and use promo code YouTube150. Please gamble responsibly. But let's go ahead and continue this video now. But I did want to talk about what running backs coach Tony Alford said to the media as he held a press conference ahead of the Texas game. And we all know about Donovan Edwards and Khalil Mullings, but two guys we didn't really get to see have any action in the game against Fresno State is Benjamin Hall and freshman Jordan Marshall. Tony Alford said, I think Jordan's going to be a dynamic football player. He's an excellent player. He's got an unbelievably bright future. He said he's smart. The kid studies the game. It's important to him. But I did say I would hope that we'll be able to get him on the field this weekend. And he also talked about Benjamin Hall. He said I wanted to get him in the game. He said I failed as a coach to make that happen, and I told him as such, I've got to find ways to get him in the game because he's earned the right to do that, and he's had a really good summer. But I did admit that it was tough to get both of them in with a limited amount of snaps on offense. So Tony Alford potentially hinting towards Michigan seeing some action from Jordan Marshall and potentially Benjamin Hall as well against Texas. And whoever's in there at running back, Donovan Edwards, Khalil Mullings, if Jordan Marshall gets a chance, Benjamin Hall, we need a spark from somebody offensively. I'm also hoping we get to see big game Don. If Donovan Edwards can have a big game, that is going to be huge. He also did talk about Donovan Edwards. He said he played hard, he ran hard, he just didn't have the opportunity to crack some of the runs into the second, third level of the defense. He did say, I thought the split was pretty good between Edwards and Mullings, but he said that Mullings, he has earned those carries. He said Khalil has proven to be a very accountable guy, not just within our room, but special teams. And we did see Khalil Mullings, on kickoff returns. He actually did pretty good. And man, Khalil Mullings in that fourth quarter, in that last touchdown drive for the Michigan offense, he was running hard, looking for contact against Fresno State's defense. So hopefully he continues it, and hopefully we get to see Donovan Edwards break out a couple long runs. But Michigan linebackers coach Brian Jean Mary also talked to the media as well, talking about the Texas offense. He said they have a high-level quarterback in Quinn Ewers, and with Coach Sarkisian, he's going to make you play from sideline to sideline. They're going to really test you as far as the defense and trying to stretch the field vertically. And talking about the defense, he said, I think you guys all hear the phrase, I think most coaches say it, you see the biggest improvement from week 1 to week 2. So I think the week 2 opponent, no matter who it is, you expect to see some improvements. But he said that this could be a bigger challenge because of the team and the offense that it is, but we expect some things we didn't do well that they would get corrected now that we've had a live and a real game. And that goes both, defense and offense, probably more towards the offense. You would love to see Michigan's offense just look like a completely different offense compared to the Fresno State game, and look like the way they did in the fourth quarter, really, in that last drive they had that ended up in a touchdown. As far as the defense going up against Texas's offense, I cannot wait for that matchup. It is strength going up against strength, and like I said in my preview video, which if you guys did miss that, go ahead, check it out. I said that the Michigan defense versus the Texas offense is going to define this game, because Michigan, I'm sure, is going to rely on their defense, especially early in the game, I think, because I think Michigan's offense is going to have to find a rhythm. But and then Brian Jean Mary talked about Jaishawn Barham for Michigan. He said, I came right behind him, so I told him I was 0 for 2 in recruiting him. As Brian Jean Mary, he recruited him when he was in high school and also when he entered the portal when he was still coaching at Tennessee. But he said that, so we're just happy to be together right now. But talking about him, he said, I've been doing this for a long time. I think he's got a skill set that could be one of the best I've been around. He's physically gifted, and as far as his physical talent, he's probably one of the best I've been around. Michigan also has Ernest Halsman. That duo is very good. Jimmy Rolder as well. Brian Jean Mary said, knock on wood, but he's been healthy for the most part of this fall camp and has really played his way into being that third starter that most groups hope to have. Jimmy Rolder, he did have a good game against Fresno State, and a couple of Michigan players also talked about Texas upcoming and also fixing some things. Graduate left guard Josh Preeb, he said a lot of the mistakes that were made are stuff that's easily fixable, easy to correct, and I think we played pretty physical, and as the season goes along, we're only going to get closer as an offense, as an offensive line, and just continue to improve each week and play better. He said for a lot of guys, even myself playing my first game here, getting those first game jitters out, certainly once you get rolling into the season here, a lot of that stuff is going to be eliminated. So that is nice to hear. The offensive line, they started, the whole offense really as a whole started to gel together a lot better in the fourth quarter against Fresno State, finding their rhythm, and hopefully they continue that against Texas. But there's going to be early mistakes in the season, especially replacing so many starters. So I'm sure there's going to still be mistakes being made against Texas, things they could have done better. But at the end of the day, it's going to be how they respond to their mistakes, responding to adversity in this game against Texas, because this team is talented enough to beat this team, especially with the defense they have, which we'll see again. This Michigan team is going to rely on that defense probably early in the game until the offense finally finds a rhythm. Then Rashawn Benny and Ernest Hausman also talked about Texas coming up. Hausman said that here at Michigan we strive and we live for moments like these. Having a top 10 opponent come into our house, the big house, we play our best in moments like these, so we're excited. Also, junior edge Derek Moore also said that I feel like we're more locked in going into this game. You know, we're just really locked in, and we're just really like mentally ready for this game. Rashawn Benny, he said, you know, every game is a big game. The next game is always the biggest one, but we're all excited because we know the opportunity that's ahead of us. Trying not to treat it like a different game. It's a pillar game. Everything we do on a daily basis, and that's just what's going to lead us to victory. Now, it's not only a big game on the field and for, you know, this season, it's also a big game recruiting wise for Michigan. They are hosting a ton of top recruits, including 2027 quarterback Trey Taylor. Also a huge recruit coming in for a visit is 2026 and top 100 four-star running back Javion Osborne. He is from the state of Texas, and currently right now Texas has a crystal ball prediction going in their favor. However, that was put in August of last year, so that's a big one right there. Also, 2026 four-star wide receiver Travis Johnson, 2026 four-star in-state receiver from Cass Tech CJ Sadler, 3-star Jalen Pyle, 4-star Dakota Garrett, and for tight ends there is 4-star Braden Fogel in the 2026 class. In-state 4-star tight end from Dexter, Michigan, Holden Nemi. As far as the offensive line, they got Gregory Patrick, who we talked about, Will Conroy. Defensive line, Julius Holly, the 2025 commit, as well as his younger brother Jackson Holly in the 2027 class, plus 2026 4-star Jermaine Kinsler at linebacker, the 2026 3-star Caden Carter, 3-star Kenneth Goodwin, and the 2026 4-star defensive back Jordan Thomas, who we talked about as well in our last video, is coming in for a visit. I'm sure there could be more as well, but that is just a short list of big recruits coming in for the weekend against Texas. Going to be a huge game. But other than that, that's going to wrap up this video. Again, shout out to BetUS. Go ahead, check them out. They're offering a great offer right now. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I greatly appreciate it. This might be my last video before the game against Texas on Saturday. So go blue, beat Texas, and I will see you guys in the next video. Go blue.